Alright, welcome to Friday morning session going down right now. We're at the indoor track. Today's workout, we have 6 sets of sled crawl, farmer's carry, and then we're going to finish that up with 4 sets of hurdle hops with an ISO hold in between. So last week when I did this, I used that buggy and kind of pushed back and forth. Didn't have the level of resistance that I really wanted to have, so I'm going to use the sled that I normally tow inside. I'm going to use that and do kind of a sled crawl, sled push. Reason being is I want to have a level of resistance where I'm actually like driving through my feet more. With the setup I did last week with that buggy, there was too much momentum going into the buggy, and with the wheels it was just picking up speed and I wasn't actually getting to like drive the way that I want to. So today's setup, I'm going to use the sled, be in a low push position and really focus on extending and driving through each step. Hopefully it gives me a high level of resistance on that. And then the farmer's carries, I have 2 40-kilo kettlebells. I'm just going to carry those for 20 meters through, and then we'll finish up with the hurdle hops. And the hurdle hops is going to be 4 sets of 5. We've got an ISO hold in between each jump, so that means when I land over the first hurdle, that landing position, I'm trying to stick it, hold it, and then without any kind of counter movement, just jump again from that position there. So that's the morning session. I'm gonna hit up a general warm up here, nothing specific. I'm just gonna kind of get loose, get a little bit warm, get a little bit sweaty, and then we're gonna go straight into the sled push and farmer's carry. All right, that was the first set there. That sled is actually deceivingly tough. Being that low to the ground, trying to drive with the legs, it felt really good, so I think I'm gonna stick with that setup today. There's a sticky point somewhere on this track around this cone where it's tough. So I'm gonna keep that setup going and got 5 more sets. All right, 2 sets left. Quads are on fire. Ass is on fire. Feeling good though. The low push has a lot of resistance to it, even though it's only a sled plus 20 kilos. The angle that you're at makes it a little bit more difficult. But if you're gonna do this, the weight itself, honestly, it just needs to be like moderate to hard efforts for 20 meters. This is obviously gonna depend on the type of sled you have, the surface you're pushing on. Obviously, like the track here would be more difficult than if I was pushing it on the turf. It would slide a little bit better. So just kind of vary that to what you feel is gonna be a moderate to high effort. And then the kettlebells should be relatively heavy. So I've got 2 40-kilo kettlebells. That's what I'm doing the farmer's walks with. It's a good weight. But I got 2 more sets, about 45 seconds left in the rest. So we're gonna knock these out and then we're gonna set up those hurdles for the hurdle hops. So just finished up with the hurdle hops, felt good. I went a little bit higher than I did last week. I think last week I was around 75 centimeters. Today, my last 2 sets, I bumped it up to 85. Next week, I'll try to go to about 90, maybe up to 1 meter, just depending on how I'm feeling. But I got 2 sets of 10 med ball tosses, and I'm gonna be doing it on the turf in kind of a reactive form. So I'm gonna throw it up from an underhand position over my head as high as I can, let it bounce, try to catch it as it's coming back down off the bounce, and immediately throw it up again into another toss. So I've got 2 sets of that, and then I'll be done for the morning session here. Alright, so that's the AM session for today. Ended with those med ball throws. Felt real good there. I was using a 5 kilo med ball, something that would bounce a little bit so I can get a little reactive feel on each of those tosses. So I'm gonna go home, chill, eat for a little bit. First thing we have in the weight room today, we've got 2 EMOMs. So we've got an EMOM building up to a heavy snatch, and we've got an EMOM building up to a heavy clean. So next thing you guys are gonna see is gonna be in the weight room knocking out the PM session. heavy Oli lifting done. Snatches went well, cleans a little lower than I expected to go. On that miss at 135, I felt like it was a technique thing. That's why I jumped up to 140. And then 140 felt great. So I think next week we'll be at 145, 150-ish, depending on how the week goes. For the cleans, the timing was just off. It's the first time I've done non-power cleans in, I don't know, maybe 12 weeks. So just felt like I was catching everything forward, wasn't really pulling that well from the ground. The timing on the extension, everything is off. So at 175, once I received it on the shoulders, it just buried me, and I just figured that's gonna be the heavy one for the day. So 175 is where I was at. I wanted to be about 180, 185. So maybe next week we'll be above 180, and then following the week after that we'll go for a 1 RM. So that's it for the Olis today. We're gonna move on to trap bar deadlift. We got 5 doubles at 80%, and then we got some accessory work. So that was the session for today. Ended the weight room session there with some dumbbell lunges and the bodyweight reverse hypers. Felt good throughout the day today. Barbells were moving well. Even though I didn't hit the number I wanted on the clean, still felt good to do some heavier cleans. That's actually the heaviest I've gone in the past about 14 to 16 weeks or so. The last time I went heavy on cleans was when I was peaking for nationals, and that was earlier in the year, beginning of February time. So it felt good to start bumping up the weight a little bit in this power phase. Tomorrow we've only got 1 session, which is going to be an upper body strength session, and then we got the rest of the day and the rest of the weekend off. So other than that, appreciate you guys watching the videos. Like and subscribe. We'll be back in the weight room tomorrow.